Hello everyone, welcome back to the next lecture of inverse Laplace transform. In last lecture, we have seen how to find out inverse Laplace transform using partial fraction method. You can see the link here. Now, in this lecture, we'll be looking at how to find out inverse Laplace transform by convolution theorem. So let's see what theorem says. The statement of the theorem is let L inverse of phi 1 of s is f1 of t, that is some function of t. L inverse of phi 2 of s is f2 of t. Then L inverse, that is inverse Laplace of product of such function, is nothing but integral from 0 to t f1 of u and f2 of t minus u. So we will be writing f1 of t in terms of f1 of u and f2 of t in terms of f2 of t minus u. For instance, if it is L inverse of 1 upon say s minus 2 into s square plus 1, then we can easily see that if we take phi 1 of s as first function, that is s minus 2, and phi 2 of s as the second function, that is 1 upon s square plus 1, we can easily take its inverse Laplace, call it f1 of t as e raised to 2t. We know 1 upon s minus a is e raised to at after inverse Laplace. Similarly, phi 2 of s gives us f2 of t, that is inverse Laplace of 1 upon s square plus 1, and that is nothing but sine of 1t because value of a is 1 here. Okay, then theorem says that L inverse of such function original phi of s is nothing but integral from 0 to t first function, that is f1 of t in terms of u, that's why e raised to 2u, and second function in terms of t minus u. So sin t gives us sine of t minus u du. Then we know how to solve this integral, and it gives us some function of t as last answer, or conversion of s function into t's function. So with the help of example, let's see how convolution theorem works. So in first example, we have find L inverse of s square upon s square plus 4 whole square. Okay, so important thing you need to take care that you have to make given function as a product of two standard functions if possible. Why standard functions? Because we need to take inverse Laplace of those functions separately. So here as you see, phi of s is s square upon s square plus 4 whole square. If that phi of s we write as s into s square plus 4 into s upon s square plus 4. So you can see both the functions are same and are in standard form. Standard form means their inverse Laplace is known to us because this is the Laplace transform of cos 2t. So let's have phi 1 of s as s upon s square plus 4. It gives us, after taking inverse Laplace, it gives us f1 of t, which is L inverse of phi 1 of s, and that is nothing but cos 2t. Whereas phi 2 of s is also same here, that is s upon s square plus 4. That's why it gives us f2 of t, which is actually L inverse of phi 2 of s, and that is also cos 2t. This is the inverse Laplace of s upon s square plus 4. Now what convolution theorem says? By convolution theorem, we have L inverse of phi 1 into phi 2, that is the original function s square upon s square plus 4 whole square, is nothing but integral from 0 to t f1 of u, but f1 of t is cos 2t, that's why f1 of u is cos 2u into f2 of t minus u. You can see the formula here, f2 of t we have, so we have to replace t by t minus u, so it will be into cos of 2 into t minus u. See here, it's not cos 2t minus u, it's 2 into t minus u. Okay, please note this. Okay, now this is something cos A cos B form. We know what is cos A cos B. Cos A into cos B is half of cos of A plus B plus cos of A minus B. Therefore, integral takes the form integral over 0 to and t a is 2u and b is 2t minus 2u. So it will be half of cos of. Why this product is needed to convert into addition of two terms? Because for integration it will be easy for us. So cos of a plus b will be 2u plus 2t minus 2u gives us 2t only. Whereas second part gives us 2u minus 2t plus 2u, that is 4u minus 2t. Okay, 2u minus 2t plus 2u, so 4u. And then we have du. Okay, now we can integrate it easily. See, this integration is with respect to u. That's why first function, which is cos 2t, is purely constant for u. So it remains as it is, just like integral of 2 is the 2u with respect to u. That's why cos 2t the constant as it is and is multiplied by the variable u. Whereas this cos becomes sine of 4u minus 2t upon derivative of bracket term, that is 4, because this is with respect to u in the limits 0 and t. Okay, so for upper limit this gives us half of u cos 2t gives us t cos 2t. Then when we put u as t, this gives us 4t minus 2t, that is 2t, so sine 2t upon 4. So this is the value of upper limit minus, now lower limit, same term for u equal to 0 gives us first term 0 plus, when we put u equal to 0, this is the sine of minus 2t upon 4. So sine of minus 2t upon 4, and then bracket is closed. Now let's simplify this. Half of, open the bracket, t cos 2t plus sine 2t by 4. Sine of minus 2t is minus of sine 2t. Because of minus of sine 2t and this minus sign, it is a plus sine 2t by 4. That's it. Now sine 2t by 4 plus sine 2t by 4 is sine 2t by 2. That is 2 times sine 2t by 2. So it is half of sine 2t. And this is the answer for given functions inverse Laplace transform. Okay, so it's very easy. Only you need to calculate the integral value. Next example. Finding L inverse by convolution theorem of the function 1 upon s minus 1 and s square plus 4. You can see here one of the factor is linear and second is quadratic. So let's split them first, that is phi of s can be taken as 1 upon s minus 1. Now numerator is 1, so there is no allotment of numerator. So both the functions will have 1 as numerator, s square plus 4, and that is taken as phi 1 into phi 2. L inverse of phi 1 is nothing but L inverse of 1 upon s minus 1. We know that L inverse of 1 upon s minus 1 is e raised to 1t. That's why e raised to t. So s minus 1 hai, then we have plus 1t. If it is s minus 2, we have e raised to plus 2t, like that. So this is our first function, that is f1 of t. It is up to us whether to take this function as phi 1 or this function as phi 1. Okay, as they are in product form, there is no change. So L inverse of phi 2 is nothing but L inverse of 1 upon s square plus 4. Now the thing is, this is something s square plus a square form. So value of a is 2 here. So that we need at numerator. So multiply and divide. So that we have half outside, and L inverse of remaining term is simply sine of 2t, because Laplace of sine 2t is 2 upon s square plus 4. That is taken as f2 of t. Now for simplicity, since convolution theorem says second function gives us f2 of t minus u, that is every t to be replaced by t minus u, sine 2t will be little difficult to solve. So what we do, we call second function as first function, that is we call this as f2 of t and this as f1 of t. Doesn't matter, they are in product form. So what it gives, by convolution theorem we get L inverse of original phi of s is nothing but integral 0 to t f1 of u, but f1 is our second function, so write that function in terms of u, that is half of sine of 2u, and f2 of t minus u. So f2 we have taken e raised to t, that will be e raised to t minus u du, and this can be taken as half of. Now e raised to t minus u can be written as e raised to t into e raised to minus u. In that, e raised to t is constant with respect to u, so it can be taken outside, so it will make our calculation even more easy. So this is e raised to minus u sine 2u du, and now this integral is our target to solve. This is something e raised to ax into sine of bx dx. So value of a is here minus 1 and b is 2 if we compare. So this integral is nothing but e raised to ax as it is upon those constant squares, that is a square plus b square, and this is a sine bx, then minus b cos bx. This is the formula for integral of such type, that is integral of exponential with sine. Similar formula we have for cos with little change. Okay, so if we compare, we get value of a as minus 1, b as 2. So let's apply this formula. So integral is half of e raised to t bracket. Now we have e raised to minus u upon value of a is minus 1 and b is 2. So a square plus b square is 1 plus 4, then bracket a, that is minus 1 sine 2u minus b, that is 2 cos 2u, with the limits 0 and t. Okay, so this will give us 4 plus 1 5 at denominator, so outer half gives us 1 by 10 e raised to t. Now upper limit value, put u as t, it gives us e raised to minus t into minus sine 2t minus 2 cos 2t. This is upper limit value minus lower limit. Now put u equal to 0. E raised to 0 gives us 1. Then minus sine 0. Sine 0 is 0. That's why 0 minus 2, and cos 0 is 1. So only minus 2. Okay. Now let's simplify this. This is e raised to t upon 10 in bracket. We have e raised to minus t minus sine 2t minus 2 cos 2t plus 2, and this is the answer. So you can easily find out the inverse Laplace of product of two functions into the function of t. Now next example, find inverse Laplace transform of s upon s raised to 4 plus 8 s square plus 16. Since only one factor at denominator, whereas we need two functions in product form. Okay, so we have to factorize denominator. Let's see. So we need two constants whose product is 16 and addition is 8. Of course, the 4 and 4. That's why phi of s, which is originally s upon s raised to 4 plus 8s square plus 16, is actually s upon s square plus 4 square. Now there is only one s but two factors at denominator. Now it is up to us whether to give s at first function or second function. So let's give it to the first function, that is s into s square plus 4. Then second function will have 1 upon s square plus 4. Okay, now we have L inverse of first function, that is phi 1 of s. So it's very easy that L inverse of s upon s square plus 4 is cos 2t. Value of a is 2 here. And L inverse of phi 2 of s, since this is numerator at constant, but which constant then we want? A. So s square plus a square. So value of a is 2 here. So we put 2 here. So it will be L inverse of 1 by 2 into 2 upon s square plus 4. That's why it comes to half sine 2t. Okay. We call it f1 of t and f2 of t. Now since both are sine and cos, there is no need to change f1 and f2 notations. So by convolution theorem, we have L inverse of given phi of s is integral from 0 to t f1 of u, that is cos of 2u, into f2 of t minus u gives us half of sine of 2 times t minus u du. This can be written as half outside integral 0 to t sine, take 2 inside, so it is 2t minus 2u into cos of 2u du. This is something sine A sine B form. This is something sine A cos B form. We know that sine A into cos B is nothing but half of sine of A plus B plus sine of A minus B. So let's use formula here. So this gives us another half, that's why 1 by 4, 0 to t sine A plus B. So what will be addition of the angles? 2t minus 2u plus 2u is only 2t. So this gives us sine 2t only, plus sine of A minus B. So it will be sine of 2t minus 2u is minus 4u, and then du. Now we can integrate it easily. So integration is sine 2t is constant for u. So its integral is u into sine 2t. Then we have plus, now sine of 2t minus 4u, integral is minus cos of bracket upon derivative of bracket. So we have minus cos of 2t minus 4u upon derivative of bracket with respect to u is minus 4 in the limits 0 and t. Now we put upper limit, that is put every u as t. So we get t sine 2t, this minus and this minus is plus, then cos of 2t minus 4t is minus 2t, and cos of minus 2t is cos of plus 2t only upon 4. This is upper limit minus lower limit. Put u equal to 0. So first term goes to 0, then again minus and minus plus, and u is 0, so remaining part is cos 2t upon 4. We'll open the brackets. So it's t sine 2t plus 1 by 4 times cos 2t minus 1 by 4 times cos 2t. So cancellation will happen here. The remaining part is only 1 by 4 t into sine 2t. So given function's inverse Laplace transform is t sine 2t whole divided by 4. Once the function is converted into product of two functions, each of them can be taken as phi1 and phi2, so that we find out their inverse Laplaces, call them f1 and f2. Then putting them into convolution theorem formula, it says inverse Laplace of phi of s is nothing but integral of these functions taken as f1 of u and f2 of t minus u. So solving this integral gives us the function of t at last. Thank you everyone.